When I first started my business, I lost thousands on unnecessary bank fees, slow transfers, and hidden charges. I also spent too much time tracking my business expenses and reconciling all the numbers. 5 years later, I look back and think, if I had known about this tool back then, things would have been very different. So today I'm going to show you the tool I wish I had all them years ago when I first started my business. And this tool could have certainly saved me money, time, and a whole lot of stress. And that tool is called Airwallex. Look, when I first started my business, I was just trying to survive. I didn't have financial systems. I didn't have any automation systems in place. I didn't know what I was doing, in all honesty. I was just trying to get by on a daily, weekly, and a monthly basis. So that naturally meant that I just had a bank account and a dream to make money. I also remember the time in the beginning stages when I sent money to that supplier overseas. It took 5 days to clear, and by the time it arrived, the exchange rate had shifted and I lost almost £300. This was back in the e-com days when I was importing a lot of stuff from China and I was selling them individually on eBay. Very long time ago, and I'm not sure how viable that business is in the modern economy. Or worse, I get paid by a client in dollars only for my bank to convert it automatically into pounds, charge a massive fee and give me less than I earned. And to add insult to injury, it was slow, it was painful, it was stressful, and really expensive when I think about it. And thinking about it now and I look back at it, I'm thinking at the time I thought that this was just how business is. And you just get squeezed as a natural reaction to being in the game. But little did I know that I was playing the game completely wrong. And I was being a novice. And I was actually playing with old tools in a new world. Now, if I had the right tools, my profit margin could have been drastically different. My smoothness of the way my business operated could have been drastically different. But you know what? You live and you learn. And I look back at it now and I thank God that I'm still surviving in the world of business after all these years, even though it's really competitive. I've had some really good years in the past few years, so I'm very glad that I'm still stuck in the game and still thriving, still trying to move up the ladder and go places. Then the magic obviously happened. I discovered Airwallex and everything changed entirely for me, and I'm still using Airwallex to this very day. And it's the best time for me in particular to use Airwallex because most of my business comes from abroad, so I get paid mostly in dollars. Most of my income is in dollars, so it's nice to have an account where I can actually store dollars without actually having to transfer them straight away to pounds, because that would cost me a ton of money, especially since also most of my supplies that I pay on a monthly, daily, weekly basis are also paid in dollars. So it actually makes sense for me to get paid in dollars and have it stored in dollars and then just paid out to that account instead of having it exchanged to pounds straight away when it comes in, because that means that when I do pay my suppliers, I have to exchange it back to dollars again, and that's just going to cost me unnecessary amounts of money. So if you do run a similar business to me in the sense that you get a lot of your money in different currencies and you pay out in different currencies, Airwallex is definitely going to save you a ton of money, and it could be the difference between you actually making a good profit versus a small loss. So in simple terms, Airwallex lets you run your global business from one platform, faster, cheaper, and smarter than any traditional bank. Furthermore, you can open multi-currency accounts, have local bank account details across 60 countries without business entities in these markets, send and receive payments across the world like a local, like I mentioned earlier with the example of me getting paid in dollars and needed to pay out in dollars instead of having exchanged to pounds straight away, even though I'm based in the UK. You can also manage team expenses and issue corporate cards, all from one dashboard, no branch visits. Look, I can't remember the last time I went into the branch, and I'm so happy I don't have to go into the branch anymore because it takes a lot of the time out of your day. And in my opinion, that's time you should be using focusing on sales. And here's what makes Airwallex even more powerful. It's built for entrepreneurs, not bankers. It understands that time and cash flow is everything. To continue on the story with the setup, again, I obviously love the setup because it's 100% online. I don't have to walk into a branch and start waiting for someone to come and attend to me, waste hours, waste days just trying to get an account opened. You know, I remember when I first opened my business bank account, this was back in, I think it was back in 2014. I had to walk into Barclays Bank. I was there for 3 hours trying to open a bank account. I had to see someone, I had to fill out an application form, sit down, have a conversation with them, talking about what my plans were for my business, and so on and so on. That, looking back at it, was really frustrating, and it was a huge waste of my time from that perspective because I just started a business. I should be focusing on growing the business, not having a conversation with some banker who doesn't understand anything about my business in the first place. So once you sign up, you verify your business and you're in. No paperwork, no appointments, which I clearly hate, which is evident right now. And once it gets to your dashboard, you can of course hold multiple currencies like I've been talking about already in this video. So this is a story, obviously. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but I used to live in America. This was back in 2008. So when I would need someone to send me money from the UK to my American account, which was Bank of America at the time, it will take days. And the conversion fees and exchanging fees will eat up into the money that I would receive, which was so frustrating at the time. So talking of the corporate cards, which is really a blessing in my opinion, because you can have one just for online ad spend and another one for team expenses. You can completely separate your business, which I think is really important, rather than having to open multiple bank accounts. Because I remember back in the days, I would have to open multiple bank accounts to have one account designated for this, then have another account designated for that. But instead of doing all of that rubbish, I just use Airwallex corporate cards and that does it automatically for me, and the separation is clear. And the beautiful thing is that each card has its own limits, categories, and even currencies. On top of that, it has the built-in expense management to track your card and out-of-pocket spend, submit your receipts on the go, and have them auto-match with your spend. More importantly, you have real-time visibility on all your expenses. And yes, it does connect directly into accounting tools like Xero and QuickBooks, so your books can remain clean without the extra admin, because as you know, we are very big on sales, and more sales. Now here's the truth. Most entrepreneurs start their businesses with the wrong financial setup. They use personal accounts, they pay huge fees, and they waste hours doing what tech can automate. But here's the caveat. If you're building a business today, you don't actually have to go through all of those mistakes thanks to tools like Airwallex. In my opinion, tools like Airwallex isn't just about saving money, it's about scaling your business more efficiently and smarter. Today I use Airwallex across multiple ventures, from paying freelancers in different time zones to receiving income in different currencies. I can manage everything from one login, see every transaction in real time, and know exactly where my money is going. I don't think about fees anymore, and that's the freedom every entrepreneur deserves in my opinion. It's one of those tools you don't realize how much you need it until you start using it frequently. And then you get to the point where you think to yourself, how on earth did I ever live without it? So if you are serious about building your business the right way from day one, check out Airwallex today. The top link in my description will get you started with Airwallex right away, so that we can start making some saves and start scaling your business in a more efficient manner, so that you can of course increase your sales and improve your profit margin. Anyways, it's time for me to wrap up this video. I do hope you find it helpful, useful. If you did, you know exactly what you need to do. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, tap the notification bell. In the interim, between now and the next video, make sure you stay ahead of the game. Make sure you stay profitable, and I'll see you on the next video, of course. Take care now. Bye bye.